You ever think about how, like, the last time we did anything in outer space? Wait a minute, let me think about this carefully. The last time we walked on the moon as a species was like probably in the early 1970s or something like that. We've learned so much more about the universe since then, but we're too scared to use it, man. We're too scared to use it. Oh, fuck. It's a sad story. You'd think the more we learned about it, the more we'd be like, yo, let's go. Ice crystals on the moon. Get me up there. I want to see that. But instead, it's like, maybe the Mathises of the world are onto something. The more we learn about outer space, the more the government is like, we don't need to go up there. Don't worry about it, guys. We don't need to go up there. Just a bunch of forklift certified aliens. Maybe your ass should be volunteering. Are you kidding me? It's not like they ran out of recruits to go to the moon. They hire like 6 astronauts a decade. They get probably like 100,000 applications. Like they're not just taking any geek off the street. You got to be like a fighter jet pilot in the Air Force who also has like 2 PhDs in physics and astrobiology and also has like a 7% body fat and competed in the Commonwealth Games in shot put or something like that. And they're like, well, his extracurriculars aren't that good, but I guess he could learn on the job. Like you got to be like the perfect human being. Plus you got to be shorter than the guy who paid for the mission, which like even further reduces the potential talent pool. Yo, I'm in. They would not let you take the Peloton up there. But that's okay because the space shuttle has that little like cantilever that spins around, right? So you can just run. You can run in place, and the ship itself is a treadmill. Like in 2001. What do you mean 2000? I was talking about 1972, the last time they landed on the moon. Dude, what if like the last astronauts that went to the moon left like a fat turd on the moon? Like they were like, "Oh, I really don't want to poop on the moon, but I got to poop so bad. I'm sorry guys, I'm sorry, but I can't hold it till I get back up in the lander and then back up into the ship." And then the dude when he got back to Earth, he's like, "Yeah, I'm a hero. Yeah, I'm a hero." But in his head, he's like, "Oh, fuck. As soon as they go back, they're gonna see that shit on the moon, and I'm gonna be fucking fired." But then they never went back, and he's just been living in like anxiety since then. Like he's gonna have like a confession on his deathbed. I shat on the moon. And people are going to be like, I never had any proof, but I always got a bad vibe from him. Nice to finally have it confirmed. It's always nice when you get a good bit. Oh, you can't shit on the moon because if you pull your spacesuit down, it would pull your whole body out through your asshole. Okay, it's a joke, all right, Mendeleev. All right, Pythagoras. Sorry. Hey, librarian. Thanks for the gifted subscriptions. That's the capstone to a good bit. You know it's a good bit. Where'd the inspiration for this bit come from? Well, in my head, I was like, The first thing I thought of was I bet the astronauts who landed on the moon in 1972 were like, you know, we could leave something here for the next guys to pick up. But then I thought, wouldn't it be funnier if they left like a turd? And then the rest is history. That's VH1's Behind the Music. Hey, Deli Sarah, thanks for the gifted subscriptions. Thank you. Thank you. They did leave stuff? What did they leave? I'm going to be honest also. Like, I know that, was it on Gemini that they inscribed like that gold plate and it's got like the four nucleotide bases of the human genome and like the number of chromosome pairs we've got. That's on Voyager. You know, you got to imagine at some point, like an alien is gonna find that record and is gonna look at it and go, "What the fuck is this?" You're right. Ain't no alien gonna understand that record, man. They might be able to figure out where it came from. They're going to come, it's going to be like an escape room. They're going to ring the bell and be like, hey, we tried to decipher the plate, but like we added like all the numbers together and then divided it by like the Fibonacci sequence, but it just spit out gibberish. Like what is the, and then, oh yeah, oh, we have, that's the number of pairs of chromosomes that we have. And they're going to be like, really? We've never even met your asses until now. How are we supposed to get that? We were supposed to get that in an hour? Are you crazy? Okay, I'm gonna raise my draw distance. I remember my uncle is kind of like he's kind of like a Mathis guy. Which I don't mean derisively. There's some great people who are Mathis guys. Tom DeLonge from Blink-182 is a Mathis guy. Dave Foley from Kids in the Hall is a Mathis guy. I'm suggesting they're into the phenomenon of aliens and UAPs, UFOs, and stuff like that. I remember talking to him when I was like 13. And I was like, if we ever made contact with aliens, how would we communicate? Because obviously we don't have like a shared language or maybe even like a shared medium of communication. You know, like they might not have ears, you know, or eyes, or what they might communicate via things that we can't even imagine. And he was like, there's ways that we can do it. And I was like, what ways? And he was like, well, there's things that are like constant in the universe, you know, like the number of protons in a hydrogen atom or something like that. And I was like, but how are you going to communicate that? It's I think that he's right. Like they got smarter people working on this than me. But I'm like, what are you just gonna put like a one somewhere, like a singular object, and you're gonna be like, get it? The alien's gonna be like, they're in their head, they're saying, get it? I don't know. I'm glad I'm not in charge of it. Let's just put it that way. Because I feel like I would just be like, hello, and then the alien would go like, and I would be like, hey, hello. What I wouldn't realize, this is the ironic part, is that the alien is also saying hello. But they're saying it in their alien language. And I'm like, buddy, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I'm glad I'm not in charge of it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it can't be done. I'm just saying I'm glad I'm not in charge of it. What if the aliens invade us and they take the world hostage and their only demand is that, like, because they've been watching all of our television for like 100 years, and their only demand is that Netflix makes a second season of Archive 81? That's from Futurama. Okay, well, apparently that's from Futurama. I'd like to apologize. What if aliens observed humanity for the first time and then they immediately started traveling to Earth? But the twist is that they observed humanity 3,000 years ago, like in the Roman times. So when they show up, they're all like, aloha, companis. And we're like, what the fuck? And they're wearing like tunics and togas and shit. Ave. That's the same Futurama bit? Really?
Oh, I'm still scared of him.
Yo, Matt Groening, kind of the goat for real, huh? That's crazy. Then they arrive and they're like, take me to Marcus Aurelius. And you're like, oh. Oh, awkward. Worth. Would you do that jump in real life with a 1,000 foot drop in between? No? Me neither. Puss. We've strung together quite the little streak here. I have a question for you. So people always talk about like terminal velocity. You know, you can only accelerate up to a certain maximum of speed due to acceleration from gravity. But it's not better to drop at terminal velocity than a velocity like just below terminal velocity, right? Like it's always going to be like in terms of you surviving the fall. Like it's not like if you hit terminal velocity before you hit the ground, like you're like more likely to like bounce or something. Dropping slower is always going to impart less force. Well, I don't know, dude. I thought it maybe could be one of those like a cubic function where like it's always better to fall slower, but then like at the point where you're going insanely fast, maybe there's like one special number that's like actually if you fall at like this speed, when you hit the ground, you actually like instantly rubberize it, so you just bounce up a little bit and it cushions you a little bit. That makes zero sense. Well, that's why I asked.
Some say that soon no one will need oil, but it is unlikely to happen sooner than in 20 to 30 years. And meanwhile, oil is still a resource that people...
Yeah, like a non-Newtonian fluid, exactly. Okay, this is where it's not a good time to be incentivized to glance. Unlock your body, incentivized to glance. A double kick drum on the landing in the summer. She fell in love with the streamer. You know what I'm talking? Wilco? You guys like Yankee Hotel Foxtrot? It's a good album. It's a good album. It's okay. It's a good album. Summer Teeth is okay. Yankee Hotel Foxtrot's a good album. Fantano doesn't like it? What? That's an early 2000s Sacred Cow. There's revisionist history. There's been revisionist history on Yankee Hotel Foxtrot. Where do I go? climbed up here. Now I don't know where to go. Oh, the arch. So true. Oh. Slow mo me? No, it's resin apparently. I'm gauging distance here. Beautiful. Oh. Oh. No, no resin, no resin, no resin, no resin, no resin. Oh, God. You can hit this. You can hit the concrete. You can hit the concrete. You can hit the... Oh! It could be worse. Whoo! You're right. See, because we were traveling at terminal velocity. Where does Wilco rank in the indie rock pantheon? One of those bands with like what I would consider to be one classic album, and then the rest of the catalog ranges from mid to pretty good. I would put them at the B tier of the indie rock pantheon. Who's in the A tier? I mean, you gotta. I mean, maybe you would balk a little bit at Radiohead being indie, but I would put them in there for genre-based purposes. The music they make is similar to indie rock, oftentimes. Pavement is absolutely up there. I'm choosing not to offend people by reading out their answers, in my opinion. Taylor Swift will be up there for sure. I feel like Neutral Milk Hotel's up there, but they only got the one album. I know they got the two albums, but they really only got the one album. Actually, On Avery Island is near. No, it's not. I'm sorry. It's fine, but it's not. Come on, you just listened to the other one too much. That you've lost some of the luster off of it. I'm thinking about who else is up there, man. Olivia Tremor Control? I mean, you're speaking my language, but come on. Like, that's... Not everybody's going to be on the same boat on that one. I don't know. Maybe there's only like a... There's got to be only a few. Outkast. The Beatles, probably. It's no disrespect to the Mountain Goats. I'm not putting Mountain Goats on the Mount Rushmore of indie rock. Maybe you would. You can put them up there with your Iron and Wines and with your Rilo Kileys, and I will steer clear of your version of South Dakota. Maybe I'd show up at least, but I'm not gonna get a vacation home there. Animal Collective, now you're talking. Animal Collective, they got a chance to be up there, I would say, for sure. Seba, though, I'm not 100% into Seba, though, but The Freed Pig got to be one of the best indie rock songs ever made, for sure. I'm basically like a sucker for any song where the bass plays a big role. And The Freed Pig, it's a good one. When did Animal Collective become rock? They make their music with rocks. Some of them, at least. Some of the songs. What are your thoughts on Baby Metal? What are your thoughts on Baby Gronk? I'm done with this conversation. I don't know. There's nowhere else to go. Oh, red barrels don't explode. This way. Your thoughts on the turd left on the moon in the 1970s? I think I live by the principle that when people tell me they gotta go, I believe that that is like their last resort. They would rather not tell me that they have to go. So if I was on the moon and I was like the captain and my flight officer was like, Captain, I've really got to dump a turd on the moon, I would be like, I trust you. We're a team. We've been training together for years. Go ahead. Blow some ass on the moon. Dump it. I'm not going to besmirch your character by assuming you're taking a poop on the moon for leisure. Like, I don't think it's the most convenient place to take a poop. I don't think you're just doing it because you're bored. I think maybe you had too much of the moon cheese or something like that. By the way, I keep getting cursed with snacks, man. Wanted a snack that's low in carbohydrates, high in protein. Bought beef jerky. Find out that beef jerky is full of nitrates, which are associated with the increased risk of colorectal cancer. Okay, I get Jack Links instead. It's nitrate free. Turns out that's a fucking scam. They just use like nitrates that are naturally occurring in stuff like celery juice. The chemical composition is still there. Okay, fucking whatever. But it's talking about moon cheese, right? We got this moon cheese. It's just dehydrated cheese. It's delicious. It's fantastic. It's not that bad for you. Looked on the back of the label today. One serving of moon cheese, 0.5 grams of trans fat. I didn't even know they made foods that had trans fats anymore. I thought they made it illegal in like 2003. I can't imagine, or I can't remember the last time I like looked at a label and saw non-zero trans fat content. Like it blew me away. My ass is just gonna have to eat some damn fruit or something like that. Which is fine, but like, also like cheese. Yeah, then you try to eat the fruit, people are like, there's too much sugar. And then I'm like, well, what do you eat for snacks? And they're like, Doritos. And I'm like, what the fuck? I think there's a way to win nutritionally. But you can't win talking about nutrition. Okay, remember, we go here. I'm looking at the moon cheese packet. It says 0 trans fat. Okay, this is not, I was using moon cheese as a genre signifier. This is actually Ivanhoe brand nothing but cheddar made with real Armstrong cheddar cheese. Cashew nut, most underrated snack. Pine nut. Acorn. Peanut. Oh, you gotta stop oiling your shoes, dude. It took me so long to get back there. Land it, land it, land it, land it, land it, land. Oh, we're going straight back to the favelas. Okay. Understandable. Pine nut. It's one hell of a can there. I didn't know, by the way, because they didn't have it in Canada, I think. I didn't know anything about Four Loko except that it was so crazy that it got banned. But I honestly thought it was one of those things that got banned because people were stupid and like abusing it.
Sometimes
Then I recently saw
but don't be afraid.
like the advertisement for Four Loko. It claims that it's the equivalent of 4 to 5 beers, a Red Bull, and like 2 cups of coffee in the same can or something like that. That's insane. Is the worst hangover I've ever had. And people would drink like 3 of them? Well, I always thought like that Well, I mean, what was the alcohol content on a can of Four Loko? I thought it was like 8%, and I was like, why? It's 15%. Holy fuck. And they were big cans, right? They were like king cans. So it was like a can of wine
Sometimes it's hard to choose the
that
right
tasted
path,
like
but don't be afraid.
sour
You can always
candy and
repeat.
also
We learn
like
from our
was
mistakes.
stacked with caffeine. Sake is 15. That's not that crazy. Yeah, but you're not usually drinking like three 750 milliliter cans full of sake and like following up each can with like 2 shots of espresso. Like it's it's nutty. Yeah, you sip it out of like little tiny cups. This is the hardest part of the game right here. That's crazy. I kind of wish it existed when I was in college. It's probably good for like my heart that it doesn't, but we were capable of doing enough damage to ourselves just with like, you know, terrestrial poison. We didn't need any like alien shit. Oh, they removed the caffeine. Now it's just a 14% alcohol that tastes kind of bad. It's still good. Oh, man. Well, I remember, I think part of the reason that I don't understand malt liquor is because of the fact that um, in Ontario, the province where I grew up, there's like a minimum price set by the government based on alcohol content. So no matter how nasty an alcohol is, its price is always inextricably tied to its alcohol percentage. So it couldn't get cheaper than like at the time around $1 for one alcoholic unit. So one time in university, I bought malt liquor for like the same price as the equivalent amount of beer. And I was like, why would anybody on earth ever drink this? Like it's complete poison. But I guess in parts of the world, it's cheaper than the cheapest other form of alcohol that you could get. What is malt liquor? I don't even really know. But it always comes in a flared glass bottle meant to be consumed in a single sitting. It's like prison wine, kind of. I think it's just like sugar left out in the sun. I'm sticking to 9 Loko. Wait, 9 Loko? 9 Loko is when you mix a 4 Loko and a 5-hour energy. That's crazy, man. Whoops. Looking like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible Fallout. I just can't do it. Well, like Malf, he finally popped into our group chat today, Josh, and we were talking about how when I was in Kingston, I didn't drink that much, but I was like more hammered than I've been in forever. And he was like, yeah, I think that you only had like 6 beers, but you were completely faded, which was surprising to me. You know what it is I fucked myself because I don't drink that much anymore. But whenever I do drink, I have like college muscle memory. So my ass just gets like destroyed. And also age, I'm sure. 6 is not a small amount, don't get me wrong, but it's a small amount for how like destroyed I was. Were they IPAs? I don't know. She was called like Bone Shaker. That was probably my first problem. I think if you're gonna drink more than like 2 beers, you shouldn't order the one that sounds like a threat. You should order the, should be called, oh, Cherry Radler. Instead, I ordered the one that was like, it will kill you. And then when they come around, they're like, do you want another one? And I'm like, I don't even have a menu, so I guess, why not? Hello, Chibli, by the way. Hello. Oh. Bone Shaker 7%. All right, so it's, I mean, there's higher, but that's up there. What does 7% mean in terms of alcoholic units over the course of 6 beers? Well, it's like every beer is like 1.4 beers. Okay, yeah, you're getting, you know, now I'm like, it's starting to make sense why I was messed up. He's doing the beer math. I mean, they did call it Bone Shaker. I don't really have anybody to blame but myself. And it's still not, like, as bad as a... Well, maybe it's like 2 Four Lokos, but still. I'm back. Is 2 Four Lokos 8 Lokos or 16 Lokos? I think it's 8 Lokos. I don't think it's 16. But I'm not sure how the caffeine interacts. It's 4 factorial? Now that's like 24 Lokos. That's too much. I will say I also had my first alcoholic seltzer on the Disney cruise, and they should be illegal to make. It shouldn't, or at least illegal to sell. I'm not going to say they should be illegal to make. Why? Because I think that it tasted too good, which I know, so like, why wouldn't you want that? Because you need, like, checks and balances on alcohol consumption. One of the alcohol checks and balances is that, like, you want to drink it. And don't just concerned parents. I'm just speaking from the heart here. It feels good. So there's an incentive to consume it. But then, if you consume too much of it, it starts to taste bad. Like the last beer when you should have stopped 3 beers ago, you're like, yeah, I'll take another one. And then you take like a sip and you're like, this tastes like toothpaste and orange juice, but you still like finish it. That's the balance. But the fact that, I mean, this truly pineapple seltzer just tasted like fresh fruit juice. It tasted like they just got a pineapple like straight off of the tree and squeezed it into a glass and gave it to me. It shouldn't be that easy. It's too easy. It's like, you know, when they make the vapes that are like, you know, sour watermelon flavored or something like that. You know, it should, when you smoke, there should be like a little bit of recognizance that there's like some poison entering your body. Whoops. Whoop. Yeah, it's good to know how much poison you're drinking. That's why they put the embitterants in the Purell, right? This is legal advice. Get it twisted. I thought we fell. I thought we fell. Hang on, I just need to focus for a little bit. Just for a second. That one's a gimme. And then don't fall in the same spot this time. Oh, he's got slippery shoes, man. I almost fell in the exact same way. That's the worst part. Okay, we're going to have to plank on top of this. I understand. Turn around, man. My God, Niles! And there you go. Now we're so back. A new personal best. Holy cow, dude. That's a scary jump. Okay, I'm all right. Actually, that's a scary jump. Ooh. Yes, yes, yes. All right. I'm in the damn Ratchet and Clank. Now, don't... I almost just lost it right there. You gotta keep your wits about you. You could go all the way back down to the favelas. Whew. We will not be fucking sucked this year. Can you look straight down for those Among Us with vertigo? Hey, I was at the playground with my daughter yesterday. I saw I saw some chalk art of Among Us. So I erased it. Said, I don't want this kind of riffraff in my daughter's playground. It was a legitimate Among Us, too. It was not like a Paradola Among Us. It was an Among Us. Like the way that Edie Falco says, "Are you okay, Tony? It's like there's an alien imposter among us."
School, army, institute, factory, death. Hello,
Was it red? It was like silver. It was gray. I don't think you can make silver chalk. Correct me if I'm wrong here. Silver requires some luster. I don't think you can make a lustrous chalk. I think it's got to be like a wet medium. I don't think you can do a shiny chalk, man. I've never seen it. I think that's exclusively the domain of the marker. He's cooked. I think we're doing okay. Walter! Walter White's house! Walter White's house! Walter White's barrel! I have this Funko Pop. The barrel they dissolved that their first kill in. I think you just gotta send it. There's only one way to get to New York. You gotta believe. Hey, look at me. I'm the average person riding the MTA. Man. Anyway. Maybe up here? Maybe down here? Oh, the frames! Resident Evil? Tekken 3! Metal Gear Solid! Omega Boost! You know what I'm talking about? Eiffel 65. People think they've only got one song. It's very false. They only have one good song. They got lots of songs. Ridge Racer, Odd World. We make a living gaming on our PlayStations. Which one's the good one? I would have to say Living in a Bubble is probably their good one. Live in a bubble, baby. The bubble's not reality. That's a classic. Too Much of Heaven. That's a pretty good one. Maybe they got more than one good song. Heaven, yeah, can always turn around. Too much of heaven. My life is so hellbound. Use your air fryer recently. Please don't make me talk about my air fryer, because then I'm going to have to talk about how the Instant Pot inexplicably went out of business, despite the fact that it's a Instant Pot. Doesn't even make sense. I mean, when I saw the headline, I thought it made sense, because you go bankrupt the Instant U-Pot, kids. The fact that the Instant Pot itself went out of business just is nonsense to me. It's because nobody ever needs to buy another one? Yeah, but everybody bought one. It's probably like 1 in 5 North American households owns an Instant Pot. So you fucking invent the Instant Pot, sell it, make $2 billion, pay out your employees, and fucking retire forever. Oh, the crane travels. Thank you, thank you. Oh, so true. What's your opinion on Shout by Tears for Fears? It's not my favorite song on Songs from the Big Chair, but it's, I mean, I'm a noted Tears for Fears fan. I think the album is highly underrated, probably because of its association with Dennis Miller. I'm an all-time believer that Everybody Wants to Rule the World. It's probably in the top 50 to 75 songs from the 1980s. Head Over Heels, an amazing song as well. Mother's Talk, great song, and the album just flows together. It's I'm a Tears for Fears fan. What do you think of James Corden's Shout England from the 2010 World Cup? I don't know. That can't be from 2010, right? I've never heard that one. I only know Waka Waka This Time for Africa. Although what's crazy is like that's the song that's associated with the 2010 World Cup. But I thought that the song was supposed to be Kanon's Waving Flag. But then like halfway through the World Cup, it got like retconned or something like that. There's two? You can't have two songs celebrating the same World Cup. That's not fair. You okay, buddy? Did you hear that? He's been horking a little bit lately. We should just land in the construction zone. That should be fine. We don't need to make this jump. Risk free. It was like, why? I looked at the jump and I said, why not? I looked at the jump and I said, I'm stuck. See some girls peeping me, I'ma glide and swerve. These looking so hard, I straight hit the curb. Wanna pick up better things than some. I see my. And some all in his mix. Okay, but then I gotta go down anyway, right? Oh, excuse me, who's here? Oh, just a little Canada Post. This 5 minutes of gameplay is dedicated to the mail carriers, okay? Pure silence immediately after that. But I'm trying to figure out where to go. I don't know where to go. You have to get to the house? Oh, I guess I could just take this girder right here.
What a person really needs is not a state of peace, but the striving and fighting for some worthy goal.
It's physics, bitch. He's done it? Ooh. Uh-oh. No, not like that. Because this is what I was talking about when I was playing Q Remastered. If I keep falling but not actually traveling, I'm going to gather too much potential energy and then I'm going to shoot down and end up in the favelas again.
How's the game?
I'm having a good time so far.
Really?
I feel like I'm doing a pretty good job, too.
Oh.
Look at this. I'm already in the up house.
Is that good?
I don't know. I've only fallen, like, I don't know, 30 times.
Isn't there like a key that slows the time?
Yeah, but I can't use it because Dan's not using it.
What?
Dan decided that it's resin.
Did Dan finish the game?
No. The way that Dan derives challenges is basically just by, and I respect it, but I also see him. I see what he's doing there. Is by making the challenge so miserable that any person with good sense says, no, I'm not going to do that. And then he typically wins by default because he's the only person willing to put himself through the self-imposed restrictions that he's placed on it.
Is Tomo okay?
Yeah, he did. He horked a couple times. But he's all right. He seems okay.
I still remember when we came back from Vegas.
That was so...
We thought Tomo died. And then, like, even when we woke up this morning with, like, the ooh,
Yeah.
ooh sound, I'm just like, it's okay, we went through this before.
I was like, he's not dying. If he was, I'd be scared if he didn't make any noise. But, yeah, we came back from Vegas. We were there for Final Fantasy. Oh, no, it was when we came back from GP Portland. For sure. When we came back from Vegas is when we came back and they had tipped over their water dish on one of the first days.
Yeah.
So, like, if we had been gone for, like, 2 more days, they probably would have died of thirst. Because these idiots, like, fought and tipped over all the water in their water dish, so it spilled out all over the floor. But they were fine. We went to Vegas for Fan Fest. Well, that was Vegas, sorry.
Portland.
When we went to Portland for GP Portland and we came back, we like opened up our door and it's loud. And we were like, hey, Ruka, hey, Tomo. And then Ruka came to us, but Tomo was just like playing like this. He was like asleep and stiff. And we were like, Tomo. And then he didn't get up and we looked at each other. We were like, oh my God, like this is it. And then we went over and we like petted him and we're like, Tomo, Tomo. And I swear to you, he was like, and then he's been fine ever since. That was like 7 or 8 years ago.
We woke him from the grave.
I think we might have saved his life.
I was so horrified at the same time. It was so funny. It's one of life.
It is a great moment.
Used.
We usually get cat sitters, but like only if we're away for like more than 3 days. Like
It was just a weekend.
yeah, we were just gone for the weekend. Like 3 days, they can take care of themselves. You give them food, you give them water, clean litter box, they're good to go.
And so like it's 3 days is like one day, cause like the day we leave, and then they got 1 full day of no one, and then the 3rd day we come back.
I also feel like the reason you could probably, in most circumstances, you could leave your cats alone with adequate food and water for like a week easily, but you get a cat sitter just in case they fuck it up.
True.
In case they like, you know, accidentally break a glass or something and cut themselves or tip over the food or tip over the water.
They did all that.
The cat sitter is there just to make sure that it like goes business as usual or something like that. Look at this. I made it to the top. Top of this building. Keep them outside for a week? Oh, no, no, no. They wouldn't last a set. They love to LARP. Well, Ruka loves to LARP like he would be like top dog outside. No shot. Especially in Vancouver, there's too many natural predators. Coyotes, cars.
Homeless people.
I was not going to say that. That's said, let you know that's what my wife said, with no input from myself personally.
If a man
Holy
does not
cow.
know which port he
What
is
do you mean, holy
sailing to,
cow?
No wind will be a tailwind.
It's a stream assassin here. Okay. How? There's no way you step on the wind turbine. But I also feel like you don't step onto this. You do?
I was checking on Tom.
Okay.
Worried about my boy. Did you explain like when we woke up, like our eyes with like holy shit's going down?
We both woke up at around like 3 a.m. because Tomo was like in our room and he just went, hey, hey, and we like instantly like our eyes locked with one another. But then I went over and I just petted him on the head and he was like, I'm okay. Okay, I see what I gotta do. I'm not confident in myself. Okay, I'm gonna try again. I was gonna land on the turbine, run it straight up this thing, and when it starts to get tall enough to spit me out, then I was gonna leap off to the crane, like Tom Cruise. Just go straight to the sign. Oh. Physics! Physics! Okay, now that will bum me out. Oh! Huge save. Oh! And then the same way I always fall. Come on! Come on! Get in there! Okay, we're still chilling. That's not so bad. We're still chilling, man. Ghibli, how are you here, by the way? Like, aren't you sleepy? Didn't you just finish like a 20-hour stream? I guess you're kind of fucked, right? Because it must be like 5 a.m. New Zealand. Oh my god, you got to stay up for Jackbox? Oh, man. Oh! Ooh. That's tough. I used to do that when I was a younger man. I mean, not 26 like you, but even younger than that. Used to stay out late on Thursdays, and then on Friday I had an early class at 8:30 a.m., and that was my only class for the whole day. So I would just yeet the all-nighter on Thursday, go to class from 8:30 till 11:30, come home, take a nap from noon till like 4. It's really like the exact prototype for Asher Roth's song College. Parentheses, I love it.